Hey guys, Victor here from the program Addiction Lists, and today I'm going to talk about the fourth step of the 12-step program and what I believe is the essential takeaway from that step. Again, I don't really buy into the idea of just kind of blindly following the specific dogmatic nature of these steps. However, I do believe there's a lot of truth to almost all of them. And in particular, I find the fourth step to be very important. And I really think that's really the where the work is, where where the change really occurs. You know, there's some things that need to be set in motion in order to even begin that process, but that process is what ultimately is going to liberate you from your addiction. And what is that process? I forgot how it's even stated. Basically writing all your baggage down and then confessing it to somebody. I think the confession of it is perhaps like step 5. Again, it's been a long time, guys, so I used to know this shit by heart. But anyway, that's probably, again, what's gonna make or break you as far as you staying, not only staying clean, but again becoming free. I really invite you to have higher expectations than just to merely abstain from something, because that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be happy or have a fulfilling life. You deserve to want that as well, but you have to get to the core of what ultimately is driving you to try to numb yourself or kill the pain or just get high or drunk or eat food all the time. There's something you're running for. There's issues you have. And you know, I'm a big reader in psychology, and it's pretty well agreed upon that a lot of our issues that we have are very unconscious, meaning, someone runs a red light and hits our car. We have to like go through this whole annoying process of like calling our insurance and yada yada, and we just flip out. We're pissed. That anger oftentimes is not even about the incident, but we oftentimes think it is. We think it's these external projections, but really these external incidences are really just triggering the deeper issue. So you might say, I'm an addict because I lost my job and I'm pissed about that, and I really wish I was here in life, but I'm not, yada yada. Yeah, that might be true, but there's something deeper. And that's where the self-honesty and the real quiet contemplation and just, I believe that if whatever you truly within your heart you seek, you will find. So if you really are willing to open up to the truth about what's really going on inside, it has a way of revealing itself. And it doesn't always happen instantly. You might make the decision that, yeah, I want to know, but it doesn't exactly mean it's just going to pop into your head. It's just going to be easy peasy. A lot of times our life has to kind of unfold a little bit, and then the pieces, you start to collect the puzzle pieces, and eventually you can put them all together, and then there's that big aha moment. But that doesn't happen just because you decide to right in this moment. But you just have to really start seeking it, opening up to it, and then doing whatever like literal methodology that you find appropriate, that you happen to resonate with. Like for me, I did a lot of journaling. And I found that when I journaled, I could like tap into my like higher intuition, where sometimes what came out was almost like not even my thoughts. It felt like I was like channeling my, higher aspects of my consciousness. But that's what worked for me, writing. It might not be writing. It might be singing. It might be dancing. It could be anything. It could be anything. It could be just sitting there and thinking about it, or talking to a close friend or a family member. You just got to figure it out, man. I'm sure you already know. You probably have an idea of what situation allows the walls to drop enough for the truth to unravel. And you just have to allow that unraveling. And the unraveling is oftentimes challenging. It's challenging to revisit painful situations. Like for me, I was a heroin addict, and I started when I was pretty young. I was like 18 years old, right? And for the longest time, I thought it was just because I liked getting high. I would go to rehab and they'd say, well, there's always these deeper issues. And I'd think that was bullshit. I say, no, I just got addicted to the sensation, that euphoric rush of the heroin shot. And I just fucking got physically addicted. I just found myself there, man. It was such a, like you get addicted to coffee, But come to find out, it was something that happened to me long ago when I was even younger. When I was 10 years old, I was hit by this big firecracker watching a fireworks show, like a bad one. I had to get helicoptered to the hospital, and I spent weeks in the hospital. I had burned all over my stomach, my arm, my hand, and it wasn't even that, but it was the social anxiety I experienced because I had these fucked up scars on my stomach. So anytime there's a pool party or like in basketball when there was like shirts and skins and I had to reveal my wounds, it was just this emotional anxiety. And then it just that anxiety stuck with me throughout the years, and it would become triggered by not just showing my shirt, but by other little things that seemed like it didn't directly correlate, but it was that same feeling I would get as a young kid. And it took me a little while to discover all that. It didn't just happen overnight, but I just began the process. And the fourth step is good. Just start writing shit down. That worked for me, but you could just do what I'm doing, talk into a recorder and just start talking. Just almost like you're pretending someone's there, but they're really not. Just talk, you know. I trust if you really want this, you'll find what works for you. But the important thing is to have the balls to do that. And when I say you have the balls to do that, it means because it's pretty scary. It's hard to look at ourselves with honesty. Most people really, really struggle with that. And that is why that's what I really credit to my success, because I've always been willing to do that for whatever reason. Because I think even at a younger age, I saw the benefit in it, and I really had trouble lying to myself. I was never very good at that. But that's my take on the fourth step. Again, don't get out of the literal interpretations of it and just let it be your own. Just be willing to allow your core, deep, dark issues that perhaps you haven't consciously thought about in decades or years. Allow that to bubble up to the surface of your mind so you can view it. Because a lot of times, these core issues that we just keep playing out in our life, they're no longer making any sense. They're no longer relevant at all. But because we don't ever examine them, we just unconsciously play them out, thinking it's all about the outside world, when in fact it's just the outside world is doing us a favor by triggering this patterned emotional response to things so we can fucking figure it out and get rid of it. And once you figure it out, it doesn't always like leave right away, but it begins the process of dissipation. And that dissipation of that emotional core trauma or situation is essential if you want to be free. Okay? You guys all have the courage to do this. Some of you watching right now might be caught up in the grips of drug addiction, and the idea of going deep within yourself is like unspeakable. A lot of you have, trust me, I know. I've been to the meetings and several rehabs. I know there's a lot of very tortured people, and it breaks my heart even just thinking about it, because I know how hard it is for you guys, and my heart goes out to you. But I do want you to know that someone believes in you, and that person is me. I know you can do it. I've seen people with way, way worse pasts than me transform themselves in miraculous ways. And I'm sure you might have seen that too in the meetings and in your own experiences. It's possible. Anybody can do it, guys. But it does take courage. It takes balls. It takes persistence. It takes help from others oftentimes. And you just have to kind of combine that with a little bit of faith, and you'll be amazed. And you'll also probably, if you're like me, come to find your addiction as a tremendous blessing, because it shed light on issues that you might have never even looked at. And you might have gone through life playing out this dramatic sequence that just is like you're like a hamster on a wheel, just nonstop over and over and over, and you have never had a strong enough reason to really break the cycle. But this addiction is giving you a lot of fucking good reasons to break the cycle. Going to jail, crashing your car, fucking over all your friends and family, being out of money, quitting, being fired from your job. Those are very real consequences. And those can light a fire under your ass, so to speak. Okay? So it is my hope that you all get this. And it is my knowing that you all can get this if you believe. And every day I'm going to post some video that I believe will help you. Whatever comes and inspires me to do so, I'm going to share until everybody is clean. That might be a stupid goal of mine, but that's my intentions, and that is my goal, is to help everybody who watches this and subscribes to my channel. It is my goal to help you through this process, because I know what can happen. Okay? So God bless. I'll catch you guys very soon. Goodbye.